11 is the natural number following 10 and preceding 12. In English, it is the smallest positive integer requiring 3 syllables and the largest prime number with a single morpheme name. 11 derives from the Old English ᵻtouch, which is first attested in Bede's late 9th century ecclesiastical history of the English people. It has cognates in every Germanic language, whose Proto-Germanic ancestor has been reconstructed as *ᵻlɛvᵻn, from the prefix *ino and suffix *lɛvᵻn certain meaning. It is sometimes compared with the Lithuanian venelika, although lika is used as the suffix for all numbers from 11 to 19. The Old English form has closer cognates in Old Frisian, Saxon, and Norse, whose ancestor has been reconstructed as *lɛvᵻn. This has formerly been considered derived from Proto-Germanic *tehun. It is now sometimes connected with *leak or *leip, with the implicit meaning that one is left after having already counted to 10. In mathematics, 11 is the fifth smallest prime number. It is the smallest two-digit prime number in the decimal base, as well as, of course, in undecimal. It is also the smallest three-digit prime in ternary, and the smallest four-digit prime in binary, but a single-digit prime in base is larger than 11, such as duodecimal, hexadecimal, vigesimal and sexagesimal. 11 is the fourth Sophie-Germain prime, the third Safe prime, the fourth Lucas prime, the first Rapunic prime, and the second Good prime. Although it is necessary for n to be prime for 2n-1 to be a Mersenne prime, the converse is not true. 211-1 equals 2047, which is 23 times 89. The next prime is 13, with which it comprises a twin prime. 11 is an Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part and real part of the form 3n-1. Displayed on a calculator. 11 is a strobogrammatic prime and a dihedral prime because it reads the same whether the calculator is turned upside down or reflected on a mirror, or both. If a number is divisible by 11, reversing its digits will result in another multiple of 11. As long as no two adjacent digits of a number added together exceed 9, then multiplying the number by 11, reversing the digits of the product, and dividing that new number by 11, will yield a number that is the reverse of the original number. Because it has a reciprocal of unique period length among primes, 11 is the second unique prime. 11 goes into 99 exactly 9 times, so vulgar fractions with 11 in the denominator have two-digit repeating sequences in their decimal expansions. Multiples of 11 by one-digit numbers all have matching double digits. 00, 11, 22, 33, 44, etc. Bob Durrer, in his Schoolhouse Rock song, The Good 11, called them double-digit doogies. 11 is the aliquot sum of one number, the discrete semi-prime, 21, and is the base of the 11 aliquot tree. As 11 is the smallest factor of the first 11 terms of the Euclid-Mullen sequence, it is the 12th term. An 11-sided polygon is called a hendecagon or undecagon. In both base 6 and base 8, the smallest prime with a composite sum of digits is 11. Any number b plus 1 is written as 11b in base b, so 11 is trivially a palindrome in base 10. However, 11 is a strictly non-palindromic number. It is the only palindromic prime with an even number of digits. In base 10, there is a simple test to determine if an integer is divisible by 11. Take every digit of the number located in odd position and add him up, then take the remaining digits and add him up. If the difference between the two sums is a multiple of 11, including 0, then the number is divisible by 11. For instance, if the number is 65,637 then equals 19 to 8 equals 11, so 65,637 is divisible by 11. This technique also works with groups of digits rather than individual digits, so long as the number of digits in each group is odd, although not all groups have to have the same number of digits. For instance, if one uses 3 digits in each group, one gets from 65,637 the calculation 637 equals minus 572, which is divisible by 11. Another test for divisibility is to separate a number into groups of 2 consecutive digits, and then add up the numbers so formed. If the result is divisible by 11, the number is divisible by 11. For instance, if the number is 65,637, 06 plus 56 plus 37 equals 99, which is divisible by 11, so 65,637 is divisible by 11. This also works by adding a trailing 0 instead of a leading one. 65 plus 63 plus 70 equals 198, which is divisible by 11. This also works with larger groups of digits, providing that each group has an even number of digits. An easy way of multiplying numbers by 11 in base 10 is, if the number has 1 digit, replicate the digit. 2 digits, add the 2 digits together and place the result in the middle 7 or 4 7 or 17 or 517. 3 digits, keep the first digit in its place for the result's first digit. Add the first and second digits together to form the result's second digit. Add the second and third digits together to form the result's third digit. And keep the third digit as the result's fourth digit. For any resulting numbers greater than 9, carry the 1 to the left. Example 1. 123 by 11 becomes 13 or 1353. Example 2. 481 by 11 becomes 41 or 491 or 291 or 5291. 4 or more digits follow the same pattern as for 3 digits. In base 10, 11 is the smallest integer that is not an even-morphic number. In base 13 and higher bases, 11 is represented as B, where 10 is A. In duodecimal, however, 11 is sometimes represented as E and 10 as T or X. 11 is a Stallman number, a Heegner number, and a Mills prime. There are 11 orthogonal curvilinear coordinate systems in which the 3-variable Helmholtz equation can be solved using the separation of variables technique. See also 11 cell. 11 of the 35 hexaminos can be folded to form cubes. 11 of the 66 octamins can be folded to form octahedra. The partition numbers contain much more multiples of 11 than the 1/11th one would expect. According to David A. ᵻlɛvᵻn, a leading researcher and contributor to the study of polyaminos, it is possible to cut a rectangle into an odd number of congruent, non-rectangular polyaminos. 11 is the smallest such number, the only such number that is prime, and the only such number that is not a multiple of 3. 11 raised to the nth power is the nth row of Pascal's triangle. List of basic calculations in science. 11 is the atomic number of the element sodium. In chemistry, group 11 of the periodic table of the elements consists of the 3 coinage metals copper, silver, and gold known from antiquity, and runtgenium, a recently synthesized superheavy element. The number of space-time dimensions in M-theory. Astronomy. Apollo 11 was the first manned spacecraft to land on the Moon. The approximate periodicity of a sunspot's cycle is 11 years. Messier object M11, a magnitude 7.0 open cluster in the constellation Scutum, also known as the Wild Duck Cluster. The New General Catalogue object NGC11, a spiral galaxy in the constellation Andromeda. The Saros number of the solar eclipse series, which began on -2511 December 26 and ended on -1158 March 18. The duration of Saros series 11 was 1352.2 years, and it contained 76 solar eclipses. The Saros number of the lunar eclipse series, which began on -2389 June 19 and ended on -1037 September 8. The duration of Saros series 11 was 1352.2 years, and it contained 76 lunar eclipses. The 11th moon of Jupiter is Amalia. In religion, after Judas Iscariot was disgraced, the remaining apostles of Jesus were sometimes described as the 11. This occurred even after Matthias was added to bring the number to 12, as in Acts chapter 2 verse 14. The legend of the martyrdom of the 11,000 virgins has been thought to appear from misreading ᵻ as 11,000 virgins. 11 is a spiritually significant number in the lemma. In music, the interval of an octave and a fourth is an 11th. A complete 11th chord has almost every note of a diatonic scale. The number of thumb keys on a bassoon, not counting the whisper key. In the mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, Spinal Tap's amplifiers go up to 11. In Igor Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring, there are 11 consecutive repetitions of the same chord. In Tool's song Jimmy, and in Negativland's song Time Zones, the number 11 is heard numerous times in the lyrics. 11 Pipers Piping is the gift on the 11th day of Christmas in the carol, The 12 Days of Christmas. The 11 is a song by the Grateful Dead. 11 Records is the record label of Jason Webley, and many of Webley's works feature the number 11. In sports, there are 11 players on a soccer team on the field at a time, as well as in a cricket team. Within a school or college, the phrase first 11, often first football she, and first cricket she, generally refers to the first team currently playing. Other teams are often referred to as the second she, etc. Also in soccer, in the German language, a penalty kick is referred to as Elfmeter, because the penalty spot is approximately 11 meters from the goal line. Historically, in the pyramid formation, that position names are taken from. A left-wing forward in football wears number 11. In the modern game, especially using the 4-4-2 formation, it is worn by a left-sided midfielder. Less commonly, a striker will wear the shirt. There are 11 players in a field hockey team. The player wearing 11 will usually play on the left-hand side, as in soccer. An American football team also has 11 players on the field at one time during play. 11 is also worn by quarterbacks, kickers, punter and wide receivers in American football's NFL. In most rugby league competitions, one of the starting second-row forwards wears the number 11. In rugby union, the starting left wing wears the 11 shirt. In cricket, the 11th batsman is usually the weakest batsman, at the end of the tail. He is primarily in the team for his bowling abilities. In the 2011-12 season of Premier League Fantasy Football, Craig Roacma scored the lowest recorded weekly score of all time of 11, and lost all the respect of his friends, family and peers, and subsequently has been disqualified from all future leagues due to this one awful result. The jersey number 11 has been retired by several North American sports teams in honor of past playing greats or other key figures. In Major League Baseball, the Chicago White Sox, for Hall of Famer Luis Aparicio. In 2010 and 2011, Aparicio allowed fellow Venezuelan Omar Vizquel to wear the number. The Cincinnati Reds, for Hall of Famer Barry Larcon. The Detroit Tigers, for Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, for Jim Fregosi, who played for the team in its former incarnations as the Los Angeles Angels and California Angels, and also managed the California Angels. The Pittsburgh Pirates, for Hall of Famer Paul Wainer. The San Francisco Giants, for Hall of Famer Carl Hubbell, honoring the number's retirement when the team was known as the New York Giants. The Seattle Mariners have yet to retire any numbers, but have not issued number 11 since the retirement of Edgar Martinez at the end of the 2004 season. In the NBA, the Detroit Pistons, for Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. The Sacramento Kings, for Hall of Famer Bob Davies, honoring the number's retirement when the team was known as the Rochester Royals. The Washington Wizards, for Hall of Famer Elvin Hayes, who played for the team in its past incarnations as the Baltimore Capital and Washington Bullets, and won the franchise's only NBA championship with the 1977-1978 Washington Bullets. The Cleveland Cavaliers, for centers Idron Azil-Gokers. In the NFL, the New York Giants, for Phil Simms. In the NHL, the Buffalo Sabres, for Hall of Famer Gilbert Perreault. The Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, for Hall of Famer Mark Messier. The St. Louis Blues, for Brian Sutter. The Washington Capitals, for Hall of Famer Mike Gartner. In racing, 11 is the number of a race car currently driven by Denny Hamlin in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. In the military, the number of guns in a gun salute to U.S. Army, Air Force and Marine Corps brigadier generals, and to Navy and Coast Guard rear admirals lower half. The military occupational specialty designator given to U.S. Army infantry officer as well as to enlisted personnel. The number of general orders for sentries in the Marine Corps and United States Navy. A page in the service record book of an enlisted Marine for writing down disciplinary actions. World War I ended with an armistice on November 11, 1918, which went into effect at 11 a.m., the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month of the year. Armistice Day is still observed on November 11th of each year, although it is now called Veterans Day in the United States and Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth of Nations and parts of Europe. In computing, in Mozilla Firefox, Opera, Konqueror for KDE, Google Chrome and Internet Explorer for Windows, the function key F11 key toggles full-screen viewing mode. In OS X, F11 hides all open windows. The windowing system for Unix computers is known as ᵻ>lɛvᵻn. Computers of the PDP-11 series from Digital Equipment Corporation were informally referred to as ᵻlɛvᵻns. In Canada, the stylized maple leaf on the flag of Canada has 11 points. The loonie is a hendecagon, an 11-sided polygon. Clocks depicted on Canadian currency, like the Canadian $50 bill, show 1100. 11 denominations of Canadian currency are produced in large quantities. Due to Canada's federal nature, 11 legally distinct crowns effectively exist in the country, with the monarch represented separately in each province, and at the federal level. In other fields, Sector 11 in the North American Industry Classification System is the code for agriculture, forestry, fishing and hunting industries. The number 11 is important in numerology, as it is the first of the master numbers. Being only 1 hour before 1200, the 11th hour means the last possible moment to take care of something, and often implies a situation of urgent danger or emergency. In astrology, Aquarius is the 11th astrological sign of the zodiac. In Basque, Jamaica has the double meaning of infinite, probably from amagabi, endless, as in Jamaica alders eat echo as and is it. English-speaking surveyors have developed several slang terms for 11 to distinguish it from its rhyme, 7, punk, top, and railroad. American Airlines Flight 11, a Boston-Los Angeles flight which was reported to have crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City, New York on September 11, 2001. The number 11 bus is a low-cost way of sightseeing in London. In the game of blackjack, an ace can be counted as either 1 or 11, whichever is more advantageous for the player. 11 is the number of the French department order. 3 films, Ben-Hur, Titanic, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, have each won 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of their respective years. Ocean's 11 is the name of 2 American films. In the anime series Code Geass, Japan is known as Area 11 of the Britannian Empire.